What's up, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is another episode of the Government Coins podcast. Today we have Pam Wilsky from Volusia County on the podcast. So listen, I'm excited to get into this because there's a lot of things going on with Volusia County. They're building, there's a lot of opportunity in that space. And I'm really excited to hear more. But Pam, before we get into that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me to join this today. I'm really excited to share with your audience any helpful hints, things like that, that can help them get into doing business with Volusia County or just with the government in general. But I've been with Volusia County government for just a little over probably close to 21 years now. I came in from the private sector. I actually worked in retail for several years, was a retail buyer and a retail store manager. So for a department store chain in the Southeast, and then decided to take a step into the government world because really wanted to do things that didn't want to be just driven by the bottom line. Wanted to do things to help our community and to make this world just a little bit better place, maybe than when I entered it. So I joined the county back in 2002. Was young and didn't have any kids. Now I have two boys, one that's almost 20 and a 12-year-old. So I have been doing this. I started at the ground level as just a procurement analyst and have been a great product of somebody that can come in and do things and move up, and now the director of the department all these years later. So I'm a native Floridian, believe it or not. Grew up in Central Florida and left for a very brief period of time and then came back. So it's nice to be here. I'm a hurricane veteran. We were laughing this week last week that there's just a handful of us left that were here in 2004 when we had three hurricanes back to back to back. So we're hoping we're not getting a third one this year. So at least in our area. So anyway, so that's just a little bit about me. So
I love how
Amy.
you mentioned that you were a Florida native and that it was something that people would be shocked to hear. A lot of people think that the people are in Florida are just Floridians, but most of the people here are from everywhere else. So this is a fact. All of your crazies come from wherever you are and then they stay here. So there's no Florida man myth, right? But really excited to hear that and just overall understanding, that journey or that process of where you were when you started and now. Did you start in procurement?
I did. I did. I came in as a procurement analyst too. I mean, I left the department store change as a store manager. I made a dramatic change in my life. I've just at that point I was when I was had opened a brand new store, hired 90 people. And I was like, this is not where I want to be for the rest of my life, and promised myself I was never going to manage anybody again, that I just wanted to do my job. And here I am 20 years later managing a fantastic team that I have here there's 15 of us in our department, and couldn't be happier working with this group of people and leading them. So.
Nice. Okay, so you ultimately got there, but it was on your time, and like
Yeah.
that's the perfect side of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone who's tuned in right now, we are interviewing Pam Wilsky with Volusia County and going over how to do business with them. If you're tuned in, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. But we have our first question that's focused around the actual procurement side of it, and that is based on your role. What does your role currently entail?
So as the director of purchasing and contracts, I oversee all of the procurement that happens within Volusia County government. And Volusia County is a little bit different. We're a very large county geographically, and we have 47 plus miles of coastline that we manage. We have a convention center that we manage. We have an airport that we manage. We have a correctional facility, a branch jail. We do the procurement for everything that is in Volusia County municipal government, plus support 3 elected officials, the supervisor of elections, the property appraiser, the tax collector. So if you say, have you ever bought this? I can probably say, yes, we have. As the director, I have direct procurement authority up to $50,000. I am the one that signs off on every recommendation of award, every solicitation that comes through our office. I'm the one that takes it, before the board if it needs board approval, that kind of a thing. So that is what my role is. And then like I said, I manage a team. We have 15 total. I have 13 analysts. So from a senior procurement analyst and procurement analyst 2, they handle all of the day in and day out. They handle different commodities, different areas. I have a construction team that handles construction, vertical construction, roads, all of that, professional services, all of that. So we have a big group and we get an awful lot done. So.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. And I'll kind of skip right into the procurement piece of it right now because we hit a few of them. You mentioned direct purchasing up to 50,000. What are the current procurement thresholds with the county?
So currently with the county, single quote goes up to $5,000. Written quotes, formal quotes up to $50,000. $50,000 is where we hit our solicitation threshold, meaning we're going to put out a formal solicitation that's going to be sealed, time opening, all of that. County manager has authority to sign contracts up to $125,000. And then anything above 125,000 then goes before our board. I also have the ability to award bids, single sources, trying to think how else we do it. Things that are going to result in master agreements, what we call master agreements, they're kind of like blanket POs. So like our day-to-day commodities, I actually have the authority to award all of those irregardless of the dollar amount. So helps to streamline things for our end users so that they are able to get the things that we need. We're able to turn over contracts a lot faster, bids a lot faster by being able to do that.
And you can definitely see when you have a greater range, it does make your job a little bit easier because it avoids some of the paperwork in the process, but it gives opportunity for small businesses to get in at the ground level. So that's such a innovative approach today. The other side of it is, what is your current budget or your
So
total
for
spend?
purchasing or for the county?
Can we do both?
So for me, it's very small. For the county's greater than $1 billion. So anyway, so it's a big number. So anyway, so mine is very, very, I'm like when they talk about making budget cuts, things always it's always a joke because Pam has nothing you can can cut. The most exciting thing we have in purchasing is office supplies, and our software. That's about it. And my people, the most important thing.
Wow. So someone asked, can you do business outside of, can businesses in Texas do business with Volusia County?
100%. Absolutely. So we use OpenGov as our e-procurement platform, and OpenGov is nationwide. So yes, you can register with us and just click on following Volusia County. That's the best way to do it. If you're a small business and maybe it's something that's not going to be formally solicited, then go out to our website too and register in our vendor self-service. That's a vendor database for us that we can look at as well. And then also just reach out to us and we can get you in contact with the departments that maybe are going to use your goods or services.
Nice. That's a good point. Someone also is asking around your fiscal year. What are your fiscal year dates in the county?
So we are October 1 to September 30th. So we just began our fiscal year. So everybody's got their money right now and are ready to go. So it gets real busy this time of year.
Got it. So you said October 1 to
September 30th.
September 30th. Okay, nice. Very nice. That was a great question, Chris. Thank you for asking. And then for the other side of this, how many departments actually make up the county?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'd have to count.
Oh, Okay, so that's
A
good. We can
lot of
figure
us.
it out on the website.
So it's everything's out there. And you know, I'll say this about our website. The Volusia.org is a great website, not just for the procurement side, but for the county in general. If you click, I think on government, if you click right on that, you'll be able to find our org chart and you'll be able to see who every division director is in the county, who their department, who they roll up to, department director, county manager, deputy county manager, attorney's office. All of that is right out there. Very, you know, it's funny, you know, I go to look at other organizations and maybe not government organization. I'm like, I can't find any of this information. You just can't. You're like, who's in charge or who do I talk to for this? Ours is very simple, but to talk to us in procurement, if you go to www.volusia.org, the / symbol and the word purchasing, click right on our site. Every bit of information is there. My contact information there, my entire team's contact information there. You can see what commodities, goods and services they're assigned to, what areas they take care of. All of that information, email addresses, phone numbers, everything is right there on our website. We try to make it really easy for our customers. And I look at our vendors as customers. We try to make it really easy for them to get in touch with us if they have a question, if they want to know who they should talk to or how they get started. So it really makes it very simple.
And that was the next question tied around what is the best way for a business to engage with Volusia County?
I think the best way is to engage with my office first and foremost, and then let us and tell us a little bit about your firm and what you do, whether you provide services, goods, whatever the case is. And then we can give you the appropriate contact information to the appropriate division or department, because really we're the folks that we don't make any procurement until there is a request for a procurement, right? We're the ones that we're the once a division, say facility services comes to me and says, Pam, we need to get electrical supplies. Okay, well, great. We can do that for you. We can help you put a bid out for electrical supplies. We can help you source vendors. We can do all of that. So I have to wait for them to come to. We do. We get a lot of cold calls. I mean, I'll tell you, we get a lot of cold calls from vendors. I'm always happy to take a few minutes out of my day and guide them in the right direction. And so is my team. I get a lot of emails. And what I generally try to do is I try not to respond to all of those myself, but I tried to send them to my team, to the right person so that they can get in touch. And then they have a real contact. They have somebody they can really talk to that really knows what's going on, maybe knows what's coming up. Unfortunately, I wish I could remember everything and keep every project and every division in my head. As the older you get, you realize you can't do that anymore. Your hard drive is getting full. But if I can get them in touch with the right folks who actually, then they don't have to wait for me to look something up or whatever. And my team is great. I said I came from a retail background. So to me, customer service is the number one thing I can do for anybody. Is I want to give them good service. I want to give them good information. I want to point them in the right direction, and let them know that we're here to support them. The other thing that somebody can do too is actually out on our website, we have a brand new how to do business with Volusia County video. I did a webinar a couple months ago, re-recorded it. We have a fantastic production team here at Volusia County. They've taken it, they've made it sound great, they've made it look great. And it is a great tool to use just to kind of get to know us, to know what we do, basic practices, lots of helpful hints and things like that.
Now, I love this page on the website. It has the video, but it also has the breakdown of the procurement methods and the quotes and the bids. So that is very informative.
Our website is a great source of information. We try to keep it very up to date. We try to make sure that we've got the most current information out there. If things come up, I mean, you'll see right on the homepage right now, we've had a big problem with fraud lately, and it's crazy. So I spent a good part of before the hurricane for about over a week dealing with someone who had taken our email address as me and requesting all kinds of stuff. So, you know, I felt like I turned into a call center for a while.
What? A one-woman call center. That's funny.
Yeah.
On the other side of this, can we talk a little bit about opportunities for small businesses? And do you typically have any training, any reverse trade shows, just for a business to get in front of the county? I mean,
Sure.
to reach out the outreach side of it.
Yeah, so we definitely participate in a very large reverse trade show that's coming up in Central Florida. It's with the Central Florida NIGP, which is the National Institute of Government. It's our local government procurement organization, and it will be in November. I think it's November 6th. I think it's whatever the Friday is before Veterans Day. So November 8th, I believe. It's either Thursday or Friday. But if anybody has any interest in that, if they will reach out to Tabitha Friedman on my team, if they see it out on the website, reach out to her. She is actually our local chapter president and the lady in charge of that, but that's a huge event. We do webinars for how to do business. So the video that you saw, that was based off of a webinar. We get invited to, we participate usually on an annual basis with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce here. They do a small business kind of showcase kind of thing, and they've invited us for the past couple of years, and we've done a couple of different things with them. But anytime that anybody wants to stop by or give us a call, we're happy to help them in any way possible. And if you have an organization in our area that you'd like somebody to come and talk to, if you're a member of a chamber or whatever, a group, we are always happy to reach out and do that. And in addition to us, of course, we also have an economic development division, and they do a lot with the Small Business Alliance here in Volusia County, a lot of work with them. They do a lot of things for outreach to help small businesses with all of the things that they need. When you start to run a business, you don't realize how much is involved. So we have a business incubator there. There's several opportunities with that group as well. And they're the ones that do different kinds of outreaches. And then also we have an airport. We have a transit system. So they do outreach because they're required by the FTA for their federal funds to do those kind of things too. So they have a whole outreach program that they do with small businesses also.
Oh, that's a big deal. So there's multiple different ways. We have someone in the comments who said the website is very user friendly and that he sees some opportunities that he's definitely interested in. His business is located in Orlando. So thank you for that comment, Chris. I know
Excellent. That's
Pam is
great.
excited.
Yeah. So if he emails me, tell him to put a little note, say, hey, this is where I found out about you, so I can put two and two together.
Definitely. And you can catch that email on the website. She was not playing about the emails being right on the website to access.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
the
so it's all
next
there.
question. Economic development, that's a great piece. So I'll probably reach back about economic development. But on the other end of that, when it comes down to small business opportunities and events, there are a number of different spaces that you connect and bring businesses on. When it comes down to spend with small businesses, how is that? Or basically, how many small businesses do you think you possibly, not even how many? How is it doing business with small businesses? I know it can matter. It's a lot of information, but
I think small businesses have a lot of opportunity with us. I can give you a really great example of somebody who came in who is a small business company. So we have to have fire extinguishers, right, in our buildings, and they have to be inspected and they have to be replaced and all this kind of stuff. And then we have some hood systems at a couple places. And this has been many years ago. It's been about 12 years ago. And I only know this because when this person came on, I was pregnant with my youngest son. And he always, every time I ever saw this gentleman afterward, always asked about how's the baby? Then finally told me he's not a baby anymore. But he started out, he had a franchise with Firemaster, and he got our contract. Well, that contract led to him not only having Volusia County, Orange counties, City of Orlando, all piggybacked off of our contract with them. And he was a franchise owner. He came in, and every year when he came into to see our building. He usually came himself. He'd always stop by and see me. And this year when he came by, he goes, "This is the last time you're going to see me." I said, "Why?" And he won the contract multiple times. So we only, contracts are for us usually for this kind of service a maximum of 5 years. And so he won it several times. I said, "Why?" He says, "I have sold this and I am retiring. And I am going to enjoy the rest of my life." And I was so excited for him. And he's like I always tell him, I said, I always use you as a story when I do this because he really did. And that's the thing that I want to tell small businesses is get your foot in the door with a small contract. You have the opportunity to then sell that contract, sell yourself, sell your business to other government agencies. We have that in all of our, solicitations that if they're able to use it, they contract directly with them, doesn't come through us. I don't make any money off of it. There's no fee, there's nothing. It's a great way to grow your business. And there's a lot of businesses. I mean, we've had a lawn care firm that's worked for us through the county for more than 20 years and won multiple bids over and over and over again. I mean, there's just all different kinds. We do business with the local Ace Hardware or, a local lumber company and things like that. None of these are big corporate giant, Amazons, Home Depots of the world. In fact, we try to keep more with those types of commodities more local. It's getting harder and harder because there's not as many of them anymore, but we're always looking for those folks. I mean, uniforms, shirts, I mean, you name it, we buy it here. So you just never know what the opportunity could be. And again, get your foot in the door and let us help you. And there's a ton of opportunity. So.
And you brought up a really good point about the piggybacking. That's one thing that I always say. Like, once you win this one opportunity, shop it around. But for a business, how do they ensure that that language is included in the contracting opportunity? Yeah, how do they ensure that that language is
It
included in
should be for us. We put it out in the solicitation document. So when we do a bid, we don't issue a formal contract, a written contract. The bid document becomes a contract. So they should be looking for it in that solicitation. And if they don't see it, tell them to send in a question and ask the question. Does your entity allow, if I win this contract, can it be piggyback? And maybe they just haven't found it in the T's and C's or whatever. There's a lot of legal stuff out there, but ours is pretty clear. There's certain things that we can't do when you get involved with federal funds and things like that. They frown upon it a little bit. But there's a lot of opportunity to do that. We put it in all of our contracts. And I find that most entities do because we piggyback off of other entities' contracts as well. I mean, we've been piggybacking off of Seminole County, which is the county just south of us, for traffic control, traffic engineering services and things like that. So building the signals and all of that. 4 years. They've always been the leader of the pack with getting those contractors under contract. So we're like, they have everybody we need. Why would we do our own? So, that kind of a thing. And the other thing that I would encourage people is look at some of the national cooperatives too, because a lot of times what they will do is they'll have a big company, but then those companies will sub out to smaller companies too. So there's always that opportunity. And there's always the opportunity for subcontracting. So if you're in the construction industry, especially, and we're building a building, well, we're hiring a general contractor, right, to do that, but he's going to need electricians, plumbers, low voltage folks, going to need maybe landscape people, going to need drywall, going to need painters. All of these people looking to see who's been awarded these contracts and then contractors and then reach out to them. So you might not be working directly for the county, but you're getting to know a contractor that is, and it can help you grow and expand your business. You get a good reputation, and then you just never know what might happen.
and just following up on that statement. So with subcontracting opportunities, will you be able to see the actual vendors prior to they actually are rewarded the contract, those primes?
I'm trying to think, and this is unfortunately because the director doesn't do a whole lot in OpenGov anymore. I think there may be a plan holders list. I think there is. And then always when we do, especially construction, when we do a pre-bid, we always post who attends the pre-bid. And there you'll have their name, their phone number, their contact information, all of that. So yes. So generally speaking, there is a way to see that. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. One more question on the piggybacking. Can you piggyback on contracting opportunities across state lines?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as the entity, so if, as long as the entity's laws and the state law allows it, we have the ability to do that. We are able to do, we're a charter county, so we're a little bit different. We don't have
Okay.
to follow all of the state, guidance and all of that. So, but, yes, we are able to do it as long as, and generally what we will do, and that's how national cooperatives work too, is there, an entity could be anywhere. We just need to be able to work them with that, if it was going to be, Volusia County piggybacking off of, say, something from Charlotte, North Carolina, we would just want to say to the vendor, we're going to add our own little contract to this that's going to put in Florida law, basically. So the things that we have to follow because we're in Florida.
Mhm. All right, you heard it. And now we have one more. If you have any additional questions, make sure you drop them in the chat. We're getting ready to wrap up right now. What someone's asking, are you on LinkedIn, Pam?
I am not.
No. There we
I'm
go.
not. I'm not. I'm old.
Oh my goodness. Uh, so listen, the best way to reach out and connect with Pam would be via email, to just learn a little bit about how you can get in and provide some value and support to Volusia County.
Yeah. And definitely if you're trying to reach out to me because of this podcast, please put that on there because I'd love to be able to get back to you as well and
Yeah,
let you know like, hey, so and so reached out to me because of this.
that would be
So
great. We should start turning that into like a thing. Like make sure when you reach out, you let them know that you heard about them on the podcast. So that
right.
that's a
Yeah.
good thing. Thank you, Pam. We're adding that to our
Oh,
spiel.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, so
I know when we first got the idea, I said, starting a podcast about government contracting, it's like it's gonna be boring. People won't listen to it. And I was shocked to see the level of engagement, the number of businesses that were like, oh, we needed this information, but also how willing procurement professionals and small business program professionals were to come on the podcast and talk about this. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was great.
Of course, and this is the final closing question. What is some parting wisdom that you would like to leave with any of the businesses that are listening to this episode right now?
Don't be afraid to do business with government. A lot of people think that it's scary or there's too much red tape or too many things. We are here to help you. We want you to be successful. We want to see you succeed. And don't be afraid. And don't be afraid to communicate. Ask the question. If you have a question, ask it. I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody, after the fact say, "Oh, well, I didn't know, so and I'm like, please ask the questions." I mean, I will say that's one of the greatest things about our e-procurement platform now. It's like when we put a solicitation, it's a whole Q&A session, and you just type your question in there. We respond right there. You can see every question that every person has asked. You don't have to go look for an addendum and this and that and jump here and jump there. It's great. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Just don't be afraid. Just reach out and just try it. You never know what might happen. You may turn into like my friend Andre from Firemaster. That's all I can tell you is that may turn into just an incredible opportunity.
Nice. That's definitely a story. So we're ready to get our Andre on as well, Pam. You heard it, definitely with that platform, go ahead, register, make sure you get the alerts for this platform. OpenGov is one of my favorite procurement platforms. So,
It's amazing. It
let's-
really is. I tell people all the time, I'm like, and follow, if you're a business, follow as many entities that are out there. If you have the capacity to do business, if you have the ability to travel or to do what you need to do, follow all of them. You just don't ever know what's going to come up.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, everyone, listen, if you're tuned in, don't forget to like this episode and share it with business owners in the area, outside of the area, business owners that are looking to learn about doing business with the county. Make sure you use this video as a resource. And when you are reaching out to Pam, to the county, to all of the professionals in that agency, let them know that you learned about doing business with them on the Government Coins podcast. Until next time, I will see you all later, later, later.